Over the last week, we've seen Bitcoin fall to depths we didn't think it could return to. But is it done falling? We're going to take a look at that and also a secret White House Bitcoin meeting that occurred last month and what it means. Let's get it. Easy boy! Hey guys, welcome to BitBoy Crypto, your one-stop shop for all things Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. Today, we are going to be taking a look at a lot of very interesting stories that could have a huge impact on the market. Of course, we're going to be looking at our top story, which is the market itself. How low could the price of Bitcoin go? We're also going to be taking a look at a secret Bitcoin meeting at the White House, who is involved and what it could mean for the future of crypto in America. Also going to be taking a look at China, and this relates to the BIS exchange story that we've been talking about a good bit. We'll continue to go in detail on that. Also going to be taking a look at a huge story for Bitcoin in India, where Binance has made an acquisition that could have big repercussions. And then, of course, Icon is going mainstream in Korea. Identity cards may be a thing of the past. We're going to check that out. So let's go ahead and get started with Market Watch. Market Watch. So we're going to be covering the Bitcoin price pretty extensively in our story of the day. But right now for Market Watch, just want to look at the prices. We have the overall market cap coming in at a concerning $192 billion, up 1.4%. So it was down a little bit further than that. And Bitcoin dominance coming in at 66.4%. So it really hasn't changed that much over the last week, but it does feel like it could be pushing close to 70, here pretty soon. That seems to be a sentiment a lot of people are talking about. So we go to the 24-hour gains, top gainers of the day. We have Matic up 33%. Digibyte up 17.9%, VeChain 10.3%. But it's important to note that with Digibyte, at least, as you can see, there was quite a big fall. So even though it's up 17%, it's actually not that great of a pump unless you got in near the bottom there of the week. So Cosmos coming in at 8.8% and Maker at 8.4%. Biggest losers of the day: Luna, Blockstack, Molecular Future, Ren, and Crypto.com. All about 5% to 10% losers. All right, guys, so the price of Bitcoin obviously has dropped. So for you guys that didn't know, I was on a cruise last week. So I wasn't doing news videos. I had some recorded content. But now I'm back doing daily news videos. Now, it was quite the surprise to me when I came back from my cruise on Friday and got on Wi-Fi and saw the absolute crash that Bitcoin had. But yet it was kind of nice not having to think about it or worry about it while I was on the cruise, not paying attention to what was going on in the world of Bitcoin. If all you do is think about Bitcoin, I suggest taking a few days off. But the thing is that the price dropped a lot and everybody's really concerned. I never thought we would see Bitcoin, back in the sixes, honestly. Could it go to the fives? Some people seem to think so. Tone Vays calling for a $4,500 Bitcoin. Which it just seemed like I remember reading last week he said the bottom was in, but now he's saying 4,500. So I don't really know what to take away from that other than there is still some bearish sentiment. Now, one thing you have to think about when it comes to manipulation of crypto markets is the price is much easier to manipulate when the overall market cap is lower. So when the overall market cap is less than $200 billion, because of leverage trading especially, it doesn't take that big of a move to push the market down. Whereas at our all-time high, we were at about 850 total market cap, 850 billion total market cap. And in that case, it's harder to manipulate because there's much more money flowing around. So I think that's why we're continuing to see manipulation. We're going to come back to this article, but if you look at Market Cipher here, indicator by CryptoFace, you can see wherever you see these red diamonds here, or the yellow X's, that means the price is going to drop. And you can kind of look at these and you can just see it pretty much called this drop all the way to the very bottom. I mean, if you come here to this week and you can see that last yellow X, and then you can see a green dot appear at the bottom, which means the price is going to go up. And if you see a green dot at the bottom, and then there's a yellow X. The yellow X always takes precedent. So you can kind of look at this chart and see the market cipher pretty much predicted this entire drop. So I don't know how much lower we could possibly go. I don't think 4,500 is in the cards. I think a retest of 6 could possibly be in the cards. But for me personally, I feel like the only reason where you drop below 6 ever, well, not ever, but as of last year, was due to the hash wars. I feel like if that wouldn't have happened, we would have hovered around 6 for a long time. So if you are interested in using Market Cipher or, trading on Bybit, the Bybit games are going on. I have a team for the Bybit games. I'm going to put that link down below in the top of the video description and on the top comment. Would love for you guys to sign up. If you've already signed up for another team, but you have another account, go ahead and sign up under my account. We're going to have right at 10 people, 10 to 15 people by the time signups are over. That means if we win, you get a bigger cut of the prize. If you join some of the top traders on there, they have like 800 or 900 members. You're going to have to split Bitcoins between 900 members. You're not going to get anything. If you're a good trader, come on to my team and let's go to the top together, and then we can all split the prize pretty good. So that's definitely something you want to do. So let's go back to the article though. Bitcoin price, strong bounce at 6.5 thousand, enough for a bullish U-turn. And the thing I really want to focus on in this article is near the bottom. First of all, look at the fear and greed index. This thing is absolutely out of control. Over the last month, it's been pretty neutral, and you can just see the fear right now. We're on extreme fear, continuing to drop. It's at a 17. Obviously, the lower it goes, the worse the fear is. I don't know the number that we would see like more capitulation at, but this is what's so concerning to me, is that right now, there is still a case for a bullish reversal going into the new year. And a lot of us have been anticipating this reversal or a continuation of a bull pattern this month, but we've seen that has not happened. And I do believe that the increase in backed volume, the China news about blockchain and Bitcoin, we'll look at in a little bit, playing into this as well. But it doesn't seem like now we're going to get that reversal. For us to get that reversal, we have to get the 100-week moving average to around $7.4 thousand in the near future, which basically means Bitcoin's going to have to shoot up to around 9K in the next week or two. And if we don't, then all our bullish scenarios for quarter one of 2020 could be out the door, and we might be looking at a longer, more prolonged bear market. And if we do not get a halvening pump leading up to the May Bitcoin halvening, then I'm very concerned about where the price will be. I'm in here for the long term. I know some of you guys are as well, and this stuff doesn't affect you. But I feel like some of those people that are more on the fringes with the weaker hands, this could finally be the thing to push them out, because there's so much hopium being placed on this halvening pump that we've seen over the last few cycles with the Bitcoin, halving of its block rewards, that I feel like people are complacent and they're just counting on that and assuming it's going to happen. If we get up to March, April, and we're not seeing that, we're probably going to see a lot of people dropping out of the space. Story number 2. Okay, so story number 2 on bitboycrypto.com. You guys make sure to join the Bit Squad. Drop your email address right here. We're giving away, I can't find it. It's somewhere around here. Here it is. We are giving away a special edition Nano Ledger S. Ledger Nano S, little seal on the back, special edition at the end of the month to anyone on the email list. And then starting in December, we're going to get back to some of our more traditional contests we've done in the past. So, but I do want to bring up this story. Trump takes meeting with Zuckerberg and Thiel, cryptos on the table. So the long and the short of it is last October, Mark Zuckerberg had a meeting along with his Facebook board member, Peter Thiel, or Peter Thiel, maybe it's pronounced Thiel, and Donald Trump at the White House following Zuck's hearing on Capitol Hill. Now, why is this significant, and why do we definitely believe this was a Bitcoin meeting? Well, first of all, it was right after Mark Zuckerberg testified about Libra. But secondly, Peter Thiel is actually a huge Bitcoin investor and a believer. He actually recently doubled down on Bitcoin by investing into Bitcoin mining farms in Texas, going off of, I believe, wind energy. They're looking for wind energy mining farms that can help bring some of the money hash power whole 9 yards of Bitcoin that's in China right now back to America. Now, if we know Trump's stance on China, he can't stand China. He doesn't like anything that they've done to us. And you know he's got to be sitting there looking at their Bitcoin mining dominance and saying, man, this could be pretty concerning for the future, especially considering they're going all in on blockchain. At the same time, they're also all in on Bitcoin mining. They're kind of trying to have their cake and eat it too, if you will. So the question is, what does Donald Trump really believe about Bitcoin? I would have loved to have been a fly on the wall at that meeting, because I believe that he is bullish on Bitcoin. And I think also having Peter Thiel associated with Zuckerberg, with Facebook, it really kind of proves, in my opinion, that Facebook is not against Bitcoin. They're for Libra, but they're not against Bitcoin. The United States the government has shown they're more concerned about Libra competing with the US dollar than Libra competing with Bitcoin. So I think this is one of those things that we're just going to have to continue to watch. I do not believe that Donald Trump sincerely believes that Bitcoin is not the future. I believe he does believe that. When he tweeted back in May about Bitcoin, I think he was really doing that to kind of protect the US dollar. I mean, as the president, you can't expect him to come out and be pro something that's going to weaken the power of the United States, which Bitcoin probably will do. But I think that Donald Trump behind the scenes, along with many Republican congressmen and senators, are really starting to digest all of the stuff that's going on with China, blockchain, Bitcoin, hash rate, mining, the whole thing. I think they're much more in the know about this stuff than we give them credit for. I look for something to give, something to break in terms of United States regulation on Bitcoin and cryptocurrency sometime between now and quarter number 2 of next year. I expect there to be big news somewhere that is going to help the United States be able to promote itself into the legions of countries that accept Bitcoin and cryptocurrency and blockchain technology and take it seriously. Story number 3. Okay, so we have China's declaration to go all in blockchain kind of coming into perspective now. It's coming into focus exactly what they're trying to do. So this article on CoinDesk, crypto markets overreaction disease, blockchain remark prompts tougher crackdown. So we know that the Chinese president recently said they're going all in on blockchain. A lot of people were very quick to say that doesn't mean all in on Bitcoin. China has announced 2 different coins. The CBDC, which is going to be the coin of the Bank of China, the People's Bank of China, And then also they have the DCEP, which is going to be the crypto coin, the digital coin of China itself. It's going to be centralized. Part of it's going to be decentralized on a blockchain, but they're going to basically be able to control the whole thing, as we know China wants to do. So the question is, how do you become the biggest building on your block? A lot of people would say you just add on to your building, but the very quickest way would be to knock all the other buildings down. And I feel like that's what we're seeing in China right now, where they are now committed to blockchain technology. They're also committed to their own coin, but what they need to do is need to clear out many of the other crypto companies in China to make way for themselves to become the number 1 cryptocurrency. Of course, they're going to force everybody to use it. So what we've seen is we have seen recently that China is clamping down on exchanges. Now, of course, you may or may not know there's a big There's an internet beef going on between the crypto media outlet The Block and CZ from Binance. The Block has reported that there was a raid on the Binance Shanghai office. Binance has said vehemently that they do not have a Binance office in Shanghai. So there's been a lot of interesting stuff going on there. However, we do know that China has raided the exchange BIS. Now, if you follow my channel, you probably know BIS because of its association with IOST DPoS voting. So you can stake on BIS and vote there. Quickly after the mainnet voting was launched, I did a video on how to vote with BIS, but a couple weeks after that, decentralized options came available, so you didn't have to place your money on an exchange. Now, everyone's IOST on BIS is stuck. So let's talk about that for a second. There were 18 people arrested at a raid Well, this says 10. I've read 18. This one says 10, though. China reportedly shut down local crypto exchange BIS, 10 individuals arrested. Now, this is very concerning, right? Because people have their money staked on there for voting on BIS, and they can't get their money off. Should they be concerned? Well, of course, if you have your money on there, you should be concerned because you currently do not have access to it. When you do get access back, and I believe that you will, then make sure that you're using Token Pocket or voting with the iWallet Chrome extension through your mainnet account in order to vote. That way you still have the private keys to your crypto. But should you be worried? So W1 reported on this last week, and this is what I wanted to talk to you about. This is this is a quote that BIS says I want you guys to pay attention to. So it says, the inquiry by the authorities are specific to the company's offerings. It's not related to user deposits. So there's no discussion of insolvency. There's no discussion of misappropriation of user funds, just the company's offerings, which I've been told, it doesn't say in this article, but I've been told it is due to the fact they were offering US stocks on their exchange, not just cryptocurrency. It is expected that users will be able to access their funds in due course once the inquiry is completed. So this is basically forced hodling. You're going to be forced to hodl on this exchange until China is able to turn over the exchange after the investigation back to either the people that run it, or they're going to take over and disperse user funds or allow access. So I believe you will get access to those funds. I don't think these funds are gone. It wouldn't make sense for China to come in and say, we don't like what they're offering, so we're going to steal users' funds, especially since a lot of those are Chinese citizens. So I think your funds are safe, but you're not going to be able to touch them for a while. And it just drives home the point, not your keys, not your crypto. But the whole point here is, along with kind of trying to reassure some IOST holders on BIS, is that China is cracking down on crypto. They are trying to become the only ticket in town. I do not believe this is the only Chinese crypto exchange we will see in the news in the next few weeks and months to come. Some of the bigger ones there might want to be concerned. And I'm sure they are concerned because it definitely seems like China is on a rampage right now. At first, we all thought this was great news that China was going all in on blockchain. But now we're starting to see what this full picture might look like, and it might be a much rockier start to the blockchain era in China than we believed previously. Story number 4. All right, guys, we have some India Bitcoin news here, as we have Binance buying WazirX. They're now entering the Indian market. Now, India has been very topsy-turvy, almost as much as China, on their thoughts of Bitcoin, their thoughts of cryptocurrency. We've seen a lot of exchanges closed in India. We've seen the government take a full hands-on approach to trying to weed out cryptocurrency. But as we all know, one of the beautiful things about cryptocurrency is it cannot be stopped. So the Indian market is definitely interested in crypto. They just have limited assets. So what Binance has done is that Binance they purchased WazirX. It's an exchange. And it says, it shows our commitment, this is a quote from CZ, and dedication to the Indian people and strengthen the blockchain ecosystem in India, as well as another step forward in achieving the freedom and money. Or the freedom of money, excuse me. So with this acquisition, hopefully Binance is going to be able to take part of the Indian market and be able to bolster it, make it where people have options to purchase tokens on a local exchange. I certainly hope that this is going to work out. I've said in the past that bringing India into cryptocurrency, in my opinion, could be one of the strongest events that could bring on world adoption. If you didn't know, the Indian population is absolutely huge. We all talk about China, right? It's so big, but we know that the country is big as well. India, not nearly as large land-wise as India is, but India is on pace to outgrow China in population in the pretty near future, if my memory serves me correctly. Some of you guys can fact check that. But if we can bring India, not a communist country, into the world of cryptocurrency, and if maybe we could get adoption in India, that could be a huge step Because think about it, that's over 1 billion people that live in India. So if we can do that, then that will definitely help more people to find out. And as we all know, India is a tech center of the world, maybe not in terms of development, but in terms of learning. Many Indians work on gig economy sites like Upwork or Fiverr, and they're very interested in technology, and they know a lot about SEO. Of course, not everyone in India. That's not a blanket statement, of course, but there is a high interest in technology in India. So it makes sense for cryptocurrency to have a landing spot there, and hopefully Binance with this acquisition can help that out. Story number 5. Last story of the day, Icon. So South Korean blockchain Icon hits mainstream news, signs of things to come. So basically what is happening is in Korea, they're trying to get rid of physical IDs, like your driver's license or your passport. What they want is a digital identity, and it makes sense. It feels archaic pulling your wallet out at an airport or pulling a passport out. As international flights move more towards facial recognition, it seems like a physical card isn't really something we're going to need in the very near future. Now, Icon is launching in 2020 what they call My ID. So this is actually going to be a blockchain identification service that is launched, coincided with Icon and their parent company, Icon Loop. So this has hit mainstream news in Korea, and many people are looking forward to seeing what this is going to look like. Now, we do know that Asia is an area of the world that's much more technologically advanced and has much more even cell phone adoption than the United States, which is crazy. It blows your mind because we feel like we use our phones for everything. So it makes sense for Asia to be a great testing ground for this. So we'll have to see if this does anything for the price of Icon. Let's take a quick look at Icon really quick and see what it has been doing the last few days. So here we go. The price is up a little bit over the last 24 hours. But as you can see here, the price has really just been up and down all over the place. So this hasn't led to really any stability for Icon yet. But in 2020, when this My ID launches, that's the very definition of use case, right? When we want use case for cryptocurrency, we want a product that's used on a government level, corporate level, whatever it might be. And this could be a huge win for cryptocurrency when this launches. So we'll definitely have to be paying a little more attention to Icon to see if it can rise from the dead. So thank you everybody so much for watching this video. Don't forget to smash the like button. Visit bitboycrypto.com to learn more about many of these stories. BitBoy out.